Joseph Coffman.
And I'm Mike Coffman.
We are two brothers with one goal, helping educators build wealth. We specialize in educators in the state of Indiana and helping them maximize their retirement benefits. Today's agenda, we're going to talk about Social Security and how it plays a role in your income for retirement. Okay, we're going to talk about the different facets of when you can draw on your Social Security, the taxation of your Social Security. Again, understanding that Social Security is one chip that you can cash in. It is a source of income and a safety net, but it was never intended to replace your income. So what Mike, kind of tell us how it started and where it's evolved and how it's evolved today for Social Security.
So Social Security started back in 1935. In 1935, 63 was the average life expectancy in America. 63. Well, if you don't retire till 65, the payout was not really designed to be that much. It was exclusively for retirees. And there were more people paying into the system than there were people taking out of the system. Well, fast forward about 90 years, it's a completely different scenario. For a male that's age 65 in America, the average life expectancy is 83. For a female at age 65, their life expectancy is age 85. Much more people are drawing Social Security, and they're drawing it for a lot longer period of time. We now also have survivors benefits. They didn't have those back in 1935. There's widows benefits, there's benefits for spouses, there's children's benefits, there's disability benefits, there's even a small life insurance benefit, a death benefit from Social Security. It has really, really evolved into be much more than what it was in 1935. And unfortunately, there are less people paying into the system than there are taking out from Social Security. So the key, knowing this is a part of your retirement account, talking to your financial advisor and how this piece of the puzzle fits, because there are a lot of different ways that you can claim it, your Social Security benefit, that can impact the rest of your income for the rest of your life. So let's talk about full retirement age. Full retirement age is a term that Social Security uses to determine what your benefit's going to be and how they calculate it. So Joe, why don't you jump into that a little bit?
Absolutely. So if you were born between 1943 and 1954, they classify your full retirement age as age 66. It incrementally goes up every year you were born after 54. So all the way up to 1960 or later, they classify full retirement benefits for you at age 67. Okay, so 67 is the new 65, where it used to be full benefits or FRA at age 65. So this really has to do with, there's a couple different things that this is important for. First off, we also understand that your Social Security benefit incrementally goes up approximately 8% from year to year, from 62 all the way up to age 70. So if you draw at full retirement age at 66 and 4 months in a scenario, it doesn't mean that your benefit can't go up past that, because it will. They classify full retirement age based upon the year that you were born. And this comes into play, which we'll talk about in regards to your earned income, all right, drawing benefits and having working earned income. So we'll talk about how that's impacted and some of the things to consider if in fact you decide that you want to draw your pension or from Social Security and have a working income.
The key on Social Security is knowing what your full retirement age is, but also realizing that you can draw early. You can draw at 62 if you want to. It'll be a reduced benefit, but you also, as you mentioned, Joe, you could delay it all the way up to age 70. And age 70 is the maximum benefit you can get. And there are strategies when you're married that you might want to be paying attention to, talking with your financial advisor, of what age should you start your retirement income from Social Security, and maybe even what age your spouse should take as well. So 62 to 70 other years, but be mindful of the full retirement age. So when you log on to the Social Security website or you get your statement from Social Security, it's going to look something like this. Okay, there's a lot of numbers on here, but a couple of big things that we always want to make sure people look at is, number one, it has all of your earnings since you've ever filed taxes or worked. So you want to go back and look at those earnings on the right side of that screen. Look at those historical earnings. I don't know necessarily if you need to audit every single penny, but if you notice a year where there's no earnings reported and you know you worked, you want to inform Social Security, because that could certainly impact your benefit. What are we looking on the left side of the screen, Joe? What's
on the left side,
there?
there's several things to consider here. First, on the right side of that left side is just that chart that draws out what your expected pension payment would look like from the Social Security Administration. And essentially, at age 62 for this Wanda worker, she's eligible to draw $1,465. If she delays it to age 67, it goes up to $2,119. All right, so just understanding it's a pretty large increase from age 62 to 67. Understanding what your income needs are and how to navigate Social Security is important, and also figuring out when to draw. It also does show you if you had disability benefits and survivor benefits and some of those payouts that would look like if you in fact incurred a survivor benefit or a disability benefit. So looking at this and understanding how it's calculated based upon your earned wages and when to draw, I think is a huge important factor to consider as you're looking at this as one key source of income for your retirement. Now understand too, Social Security for a married couple, upon the first person's death, you lose the lower of the two Social Securities.
Correct.
So also taking that into consideration. A lot of people don't understand that essentially if one person dies of a married couple, you would lose the lower of the two Social Securities. And factoring that into what the income would look like after the first one would pass.
For sure. The other thing, again, the more information you can gather about your benefits, your work history, your working income, and what those calculations are, the better decisions you make.
Absolutely.
Talk with your financial advisor, have them help you through it.
Is Social Security tax, Mike?
It might be. It might be. Social Security really, when it was born, it was designed to be a tax-free income. And it is tax-free income if your income is very, very low. So the question of how is my Social Security payment taxed? It depends on what's called your provisional income. IRS uses a calculation of provisional income. And provisional income, Joe, is all of your income, not including Social Security. So they're going to take your interest income. If you have a part-time job, if you have IRA withdrawals, if you have pension income, they're going to take all of that income, not including Social Security, and then add to that half of your Social Security benefit. That calculation, all those numbers added together, gives you your provisional income. And then IRS says if you're married filing jointly and your provisional income is under $32,000, then as you can see from the chart, none of your Social Security is subject to tax. If your income, your provisional income, is between $32,000 and $44,000, up to half of your Social Security benefits will be subject to tax. Keep in mind, when it says up to 50%, that is not the percentage of tax you pay, it's the percentage of your benefit that is subject to tax. And if you're over $44,000 on your provisional income, up to 85% of your benefit will be subject to tax. No one pays taxes on all of their benefit. So let's take a look at a single individual there in the blue section there. If you're single and your provisional income is below $25,000, none of your Social Security is subject to tax. $25,000 to $34,000 of provisional income, up to 50%. And finally, over $34,000 of provisional income, up to 85% of your benefits subject to tax. It's a really important planning strategy, Joe, that we encourage people to look into and talk with your financial advisor. It's really important that they look at their provisional income because there's some tax savings that you might be able to employ working with an advisor and calculating those numbers.
And absolutely understanding, too, that what you may be doing on your income from your IRAs could impact the taxes on your Social Security.
For sure.
Or that part-time job that you think you might generate a little extra income and how it may impact negatively your Social Security payment.
And your taxation.
And your taxation of it.
Because it raises your provisional income, raises the potential to be taxed.
And you can have voluntary federal tax withheld from your Social Security benefit. It's just something that a form that you have to fill out to complete to have that voluntarily withheld. So things to consider. All right, working and drawing your Social Security benefits. Well, can we draw our Social Security benefit and continue to work and have working wages? Yes. But if it's prior to your FRA, and I tell you, this is one of the key points, I think, to the FRA, is that if you have earned income, not retirement income, not pension income, but earned income, wages exceeding $21,240 as of 2023, then they will penalize you for every dollar that you go over that. Okay, it's a pretty healthy penalty that the IRS tax on there, and potentially even taxes as well, right? We just talked about that. So just understanding that if you're going to draw your Social Security benefits, you can, but they could be negatively impacted through the way of penalties if you exceed a certain income threshold. But after FRA, you can make as much money as you want, and there is no income limit. In fact, you can have working wages of any amount and not be penalized for drawing on that Social Security benefit.
That's why, going back to that full retirement age, you must know what that is so that you can make sure you don't trigger any penalties on your Social Security benefit.
Absolutely. Taxation of benefits, we've talked about that, provisional income, working with a financial professional that understands it, right? That understands how these work and how they can impact you, and to hopefully strategize based upon that. Various benefit scenarios, understanding that there's widow benefits, there's spousal benefits, disability benefits. It is very inclusive in what that's offered, and hundreds of different ways to draw on your Social Security benefit, and working with somebody that understands how it is to help maximize those payouts to and through your retirement career.
Exactly right. Lots of stuff to consider. Keep in mind, this is one part of your retirement plan. Make sure you're working with someone that can help you put all those pieces of the puzzle together. So we appreciate you watching today.
Two brothers, one goal, helping educators in the state of Indiana build wealth and maximize their retirement benefits.